you can never not be showing up. Let's say you're laying in bed. No one sees you. No one knows. And you're like, I'm not showing up. Yes, you are. Why? Because first of all, you bought the bed. You arranged your life in such a way that you can be in bed at that time. You didn't accept a job where you have to work at that time. Maybe there's a book by your side on the nightstand. You pulled through a 6-continent supply chain to buy that book. Maybe you did it by walking into a store. Maybe you did it online. Every choice you've made is showing up in that moment. Every choice you've made. And every choice you didn't make is also showing up. Because everything that you do is attending to something. I am choosing right now, Irina, to look forward. I am choosing to not attend to what's behind me. Is that unbelievable? Think about how narrow that choice is. The infinite world of everything else going on, I'm choosing not to attend to it. I'm choosing to attend to you. Right now, right here.
In this episode, we explore what it really means to show up for yourself and your child. Welcome to Single Parent Success Stories, a podcast designed to inspire single parents. Here you'll find resources from self-care to finances to parenting and everything in between. Discover what it takes to thrive. Let the stories inspire you to what is possible. Give the woman in your life something that truly matters, or better yet, give it to yourself. The gift inside is for every woman who spent decades being everything to everyone else. It's time to remember who you are and rediscover your happiness. This isn't just a book, it's a permission to put yourself first again. Available now, because the best gift you can give is helping someone find themselves. Have you ever felt like you are physically present for your child, but not fully there? That's what we are talking about today, what it actually means to show up. Because when you're overwhelmed or stretched thin, it's easy to feel disconnected, but small shifts in how you show up can change your child experience and your relationship. Today I'm joined by Marcy Axelrod, author of How We Choose to Show Up and a researcher who has spent over 20 years studying how we show up in our lives and relationships. Marcy, it's a pleasure to have you.
Irina, it's so great to be here to talk to other single parents who are also so much more than parents, right? Although parenting probably encompasses all of us all the time.
Totally. So you wanted to show us your gallery, so please go ahead.
Well, I mean, yeah. And it isn't, the point of showing the art. Okay. So my whole life is a calling to help people choose how we show up, and we can get into what that means and why. But the idea is that we're so much more than nouns. We aren't just parents or authors or speakers or artists or digital media managers or physicians, like whatever we are, we're so much more than that role. And we're not the noun, right? I'm a business leader. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a coach, right? We're so much more than that. Visual art for me is, especially because the type of art that I do, it's flowing. Everything about it flows. I start with a clear liquid. And I mean, the idea is the more of ourselves that we can bring into each and every role, right? How can I bring my art into my parenting, right? How can the listener bring their passion for music or gardening or knitting, whatever it may be, into the next moment when they look at their child or their partner or their spouse or their best friend? That creative energy, that outlet, that play, if you will, enables us to truly show up for that person because it opens us up. We can let the judgment go. We can let the fear go. Yeah. So that's the idea in why I wanted to show the art. And then, once people start to develop more of what kind of might be a hobby or a side thing, the more doors open. My story on that, I started to make this. And then I said to myself, why don't I research art shows? So then I looked up, and I'm going to walk to my studio here. That's so that we have better lighting and audio. And then out of the blue, the idea came to mind. Well, gee, maybe there's an art show nearby. So I found the Hamptons Fine Art Show. Unbelievably, they offered me a spot as an individual artist and not a gallery. So we kind of created a gallery and made the Hampton Fine Art Show happen. And then from that, the Boston Affordable Art Fair. And now I'm about to be at Art Basel, Miami in 2 different fairs, both in aqua and in red dot. So once you do things, and I think this is really important because parenting works the same way. It flows. Once you do one thing, the next thing happens because
I
we're
love.
always showing up. Yeah.
Thank you. And I love how you mentioned, we wear so many labels, but how do we merge that? How do we take one and bring it into another? So very awesome concept. Your work centers around how we choose to show up. For single parents who feel stretched thin, what does showing up look like when you don't feel strong?
Yeah. I mean, that's always the question, right? How do you truly show up when you really don't want to or don't have the energy? Parenting really stretches us thin. My daughter didn't sleep through the night for 3 years. I mean, I was a zombie. I mean, let's discuss this across the show up continuum because parenting leads us to be in all 3 levels, right? So you've got, tell me if you can see it. I can't really see what I'm showing you here. Yeah.
I see now.
Barely there, level 1, just showing up level 2 and truly showing up level 3. When you're barely there, so the beliefs behind the continuum are that we're all flowing along this continuum every moment of every day. Maybe we wake up, we're somewhat refreshed. We can truly show up, hi angel, hi pumpkin. How was your night? Be there. And then at some point you're just exasperated and exhausted and you're late for your meeting. And, little Johnny's really intent on trying his own shoes. And you're just like, Abigail, my dear, we're going. Mom's doing it today, So anyway, and that I would view more as true as just showing up, which is kind of your default, get it done. The person in front of you is kind of an object, like you want to kind of control them, get them out of the way and just get your stuff done, which is not a really great parenting approach. So the answer to your question is just first, live with acceptance. Okay. When you don't really have the energy or the effort or the focus left at that moment, to just patiently be there to uplift your child and let them come alive in safety, in love, in your accepting presence. When you don't have the ability to do that, first say it's okay. It's okay. Give yourself permission to flow along the continuum. Sometimes you're going to truly show up. Sometimes you're barely there. My research across the last 30 years shows that 80% of us just show up 80% of the time. Just showing up once again. Left hemisphere, narrow beam attention. You're not really here. Your mind is presenting the past in the right now, and you just kind of want to blaze through and put in, like, you're really missing the beauty, the truth, the humanness, the emotion of the other. All of that's missed. And so that's really just showing up. And you're kind of like, life feels a little bit like cardboard, like Groundhog Day. We're going to parent like that some of the time. There's no question. That's the default state. Anytime you feel tired, hungry, like you just need to step back and take a break. Anytime there's fear, anytime there's threat. And by the way, that's often. My God, I'm going to be late. That's threat. Someone's judging me. That's threat. My teenage son is just going to ignore me or show a temper. You feel like that's fear and threat. Anytime you feel those things, you're going to be pushed down the continuum. So now, how do you control for that and truly show up or move up in some way? You have to reset your nervous system. It's a really effective, quick way to do this is breathe very deeply in, 6 seconds in, and very deeply out. Get all of it out. I mean, when you think all your lungs are empty, push more out. And then go in, do it 6 times slowly. And when you look at that teenage son, you're going to notice things you didn't see. You're going to notice, look at that. He really has that boyish smile that he always used to have when he was young. Or, I love this quality that he has. The humanness is going to show up. And at a minimum, the edge and the fear and the resistance is going to be turned down. That dial will be turned way down. And he may still show up the same way, but it won't impact you the same way. But over time, when he comes home or approaches you at the end of the day after basketball, or she comes home after whatever, they're going to notice that you are presencing differently than before. You're going to feel different to them because your energy will be more truly show up energy. It'll be more accepting. It'll be more loving. It'll be more and safe. And because of that, over time, they're going to start to show up to you differently, right? Because as Einstein said, this isn't a good world or a bad world. It's a self-reflective universe. So people and things and opportunities will start to show up for us as we show up to the world, because that's the energy that we go out, give out.
I
I
love.
hope I answered the question of how do you truly show up to a kid when you just don't have the stuff. Did I answer that?
Yes, you did. Yeah, it's so important to be
Awesome.
present. And the first simplest thing is, again, to breathe, because we sometimes forget the simple thing we can do.
Yeah, so it's deeper than presencing. Let me be careful with that. People use the word, but what does it really mean? What does it mean? So we have two hemispheres of our brain, right? When we were evolving, we had to be able to feed ourselves, and we had to be able to not be fed to something else. So notice what I'm doing. Feed ourselves, grab it, get it, control over, very narrow laser beam attention. Nothing else exists. Okay, that elk is jumping. I know how it's going to jump. I've seen elk jump before. I don't care if it just had little babies and it's a mommy elk, or if it's going to bring foods. None of that exists. It's food, and I'm going to get it. So that's the left hemisphere. This is get it done mode, right? The boss needs it by 2, or I have to get these 12 things done. Or right now it's, oh my God, I've got to go buy everything for Thanksgiving. I have to do this. I have to set up the house, right? I mean, for those of us lucky enough to have time and effort and money to have some kind of family time, right? Over Thanksgiving. I just spoke to a woman who's an emergency veterinarian. She's working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Anyway, so my point, we have two modes of attending. When we talk about presencing, we're talking about the right hemisphere. This is not the grab it and get it done and the feed me. This is the, what's the big picture that's going on? Are those clouds moving in a way that may indicate a storm? Where, way over there is my next of kin that I have to take care of. It's kind of the bigger flow. You know, is there a predator in the sky that I need to be thinking about? And I'm describing here the work of Dr. Ian McGilchrist. He's a psychiatrist, lives on the Isle of Skye. He did tons and tons, decades of studies on this. His books are tomes. They're thousands of pages each with 6,000 plus references. And I've studied them up and down because it's life-changing to understand. We have a system of attending. It's in the right hemisphere for most of us. And what it enables us to do is to flow with life, with time, in space. This is how we're designed to show up. This is the wayfinding that people used to do, where they had knowledge of what was in the ocean, even though they lived in land and had never even seen the sea. This is the intuitive acceptance and perceiving at another level, where you feel what someone feels. They don't have to describe it. Arena, right now with your eyes and how you're nodding, you have just changed the chemistry of my body. Okay, this is right hemisphere stuff. I feel heard. I feel supported. I feel accepted, right? This isn't judgment. And I'm hoping, right? Notice my tone changed. I've slowed down. I'm not in presentation mode anymore. We are human to human, right? So bringing this back, what is presencing? What am I talking about? What is going to change how your son or daughter or spouse or friend or boss or colleague shows up to you? This is it. It is right hemisphere perceiving and presencing. And what it does is it changes us from our frontal lobe, and it changes us from our head to our heart. And now we feel each other. And by the way, this is the only way of attending, the right hemisphere attending, that gives us perceiving of emotion, of feeling you. The music that was noise in the background is now literally you're moving with it, because you're flowing with what is. And you're truly, so in the model of showing up, this is called your situation member role. You're not in your ego-driven self role. You are deeply right here, right now, impacted, less outside in of judging, Is she judging me? Am I feeling lesser than, better than? Do I need to be seen as? Am I feeling I deserve? Less that outside in, or I'm sorry, inside out ego living that 80% of us are doing 80% of the time, if not more. It's more the opposite. It's outside in living where you're just perceiving, you're flowing. Arena, this is when the colleagues feel trust. The boss says, you know what? She's the one to get this job done. I'm going to offer the project to her. This is when you're the one who gets the invitation. This is when your phone's the one that rings when an opportunity comes up. This is when the friend says, hey, can I have your advice? Right? So this is when life starts to really show. And this is the parenting you want. Like, this is the gold star. This is when your child crawls into your lap. They feel safe. They feel loved. And as they continue into their tween and teen years, they want your advice. They want you there. And they say, hey, mom, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? That's the holy grail. I don't have that for my teenager. I will let you know that. I don't hear, hey, mom, I want your advice. Let me just be clear here. But my child is the child of divorce. I wasn't always able to be that even-keeled presence because you're moderating with another parent who maybe isn't on the same page. So anyway, enough about this, but I really hope I've, been clear. Presencing has a tremendous depth and description. It's in here. It's in the book. Anyone who wants to understand more can also be in touch. One more thing I want to bring up here. Oh no, I'll leave it because I'm sure it's going to be in response to your next question, probably. So I'll just let you respond. What do you think?
Yes, totally. Presencing is important, and it's not this thing that just passes you by. You really got to be there. Oftentimes when we speak to people, they're somewhere else. They're not really there.
A lot of people don't know how, right? Which is why I gave that description.
Yes.
People don't know how. If you have any version of feeling threat or fear, any version of stress, you are not able to kind of drop into your situation member role with any depth. You cannot deeply presence. People will not feel you. They'll just ricochet right off.
Totally. Your book is based on more than 20 years of research. What's one surprising truth you discovered about how humans are wired to thrive, especially during challenging seasons like single parenthood?
What blew me away, because I grew up with it, so I thought everyone was like this. What blew me away is that extremely successful professionals. I mean, people who've started businesses over and over, made hundreds of millions of dollars, literally. Someone who helped me to edit my book, who was her role, literally chief presidential speechwriter for one of our recent presidents. She said to me, Marcy, the fact that we choose our behavior every moment. We're choosing how we show up. That was such a revelation. And I'm thinking, what a revelation to me, because I just observed my parents and how they're choosing to show up. Like they're making a choice. So I kind of grew up with this understanding of life. Every moment is a choice, every moment. And most of us don't consciously choose. Okay. So the rest of your question was a revelation to me about how parents can do better. So in the research, the whole right and left hemisphere, the two ways of attending, that was massive. The fact that showing up is really, this continuum has to be a permission system. You have to permit yourself to be anywhere along this because it's human nature. Letting go isn't an ongoing thing. You have to continually say, I'm going to let go of this emotion. Being stuck on it and recreating that emotion, that dread, that regret, that fear. Recreating this is getting me nowhere. It's keeping me stuck. So we have to continually remind ourselves, I'm choosing this. I'm choosing where my mind goes. Another big revelation that I had always had in my mind, because I started studying human potential and performance at age 12, but that is really a revelation for others, is that our thoughts are just random. Thoughts are not facts. Thoughts are not true. Thoughts are just random interpretations that we put around emotions, and they're not to be believed. Let them all go, because when you're deeply here now, there's no like ping, 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 ping going on. So the fact that you have ping, 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 right? Dot, 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 dot. It's not helpful, and it's not necessary and don't give it weight or credence. Any emotion can be interpreted in any way. Even pain can be interpreted in any way. I can give examples, but I'll stop.
No, totally. I love it. We have this amazing power of free will and choice,
Yes.
and we often
Yes,
forget that
yes.
it's easy to blame things outside of ourselves and kind of give away our own power. Meanwhile, we
Yeah.
always have this ability to choose
Yeah,
how we
yeah,
react,
blame.
how if we choose to be present or angry or whatever we choose. We
Right.
forget that.
Well, first be with it. When you feel something, anger, regret, blame, feel it. Say, got it. Say, because it's a big insight. Got it. And I'm talking about emotions, not thoughts. Okay. When you feel, because emotions are under thoughts. Emotions come first. They are primary. Well, actually, relatedness, relationality is primary. And then we feel emotions, and then we wrap some interpretation that we call a thought. All right. Okay. When you feel the emotion, got it. Okay. That's important. Ride the wave, say thank you, let it go, and then make a choice. What am I going to do with this? That felt really crappy, what that person did. It's not personal. They didn't mean it. If they're judging me, that's a projection of who they are. Let them be who they are. You're never going to change them. Let it be. Say, got it. Thanks for the information. And now you have a choice. Spend more time with the person, spend less, put up a boundary, put up a barrier, communicate, don't. So that's the key. When you notice yourself blaming, that is a really powerful insight. Any blame you have for the outside world is keeping you stuck. I blame the fact that XYZ happened, that I didn't get the job. I blame that this is happening, that I don't have the life I want. It's keeping you stuck. Just know that. You can say stuck, or you can say, wow, I'm accountable. So what I'm going to send you that you can put in your show notes, Arena, are the beliefs. Showing up is a belief system. What do you believe about the way the world works? Are you accountable or not? Do you impact the world or not? Is this a symbiotic universe or not? Meaning, how you show up to the world is how the world shows up to you. There's a reciprocity. It's reciprocal, right? Picture that figure 8, that Mobius strip where you go on the outside and then you're on the inside and then you're on the outside, and it's never going to stop, because what you put out there is what's going to come right back. So there's a belief system. I just mentioned a bunch of the beliefs, right? It's the symbiosis and reciprocity of the world. And when I say universe, if that's too abstract for people, just think people are going to show up to you as you show up to them. Bottom line, your energy, your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, all of it. There's a statistic that I talk about that I mentioned in both of my TED Talks. Nicholas Christakis, who leads a human behavior lab up at Yale, he's the one who measured that for each of the 20 people, like we all have this pod of like 20 people around us, right? The neighbors, the colleagues, the friends, the family. Out of those 20 people around us, they're 45% more likely to do what we do. Just bottom line, 45% more like how you stand. Do you listen? Do you seem to care? Do you smoke? Do you drink? How quickly do you speak? Like whatever it is. Do you complain? Whatever it is. Then those people then have 20 people around them who are 25% more likely to do what you do. Now, these are people you may never meet, but they're 25% more likely to do what you do just because it's who you are, just because you did it. You put it out there, and it's going to flow through the first level into the next, and then that person's going to be with someone. Think about their 5-year-old son. So your neighbor's best friend's son or daughter, whatever it may be, is 10% more likely to do what you do. Like, watch out. You're impacting the world. So what does that mean? You're accountable for how you show up. So choose.
Thank you. You've spoken on TEDx stages, contributed to TV, and written a best-selling book. What personal experiences shaped your understanding of resilience and human potential?
Yeah, resilience and human potential. And you say, what experiences did it? So first I'll tell you like the 3 takeaways most likely, and then I'll tell you the experiences that led to the takeaways. So number 1, have no fear, just do your thing. Just take steps to do your thing. A lot of people, I could never write a book. It's like, write a single word. Single word. Again, done. That's your book writing for the day. You're done. Check. So now, are you an author? Yeah, you're writing a book. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can do anything. Just start it. Second thing, you matter. You deeply matter. The statistics I just mentioned. You're impacting the world at every moment. Never forget it. And here's the key, because it's relentless. Arena, it is ruthless. You can never not be showing up. Let's say you're laying in bed. No one sees you. No one knows. And you're like, I'm not showing up. Yes, you are. Why? Because first of all, you bought the bed. You arranged your life in such a way that you can be in bed at that time. You didn't accept a job where you have to work at that time. Maybe there's a book by your side on the nightstand. You pulled through a 6-continent supply chain to buy that book. And maybe you did it by walking into a store. Maybe you did it online. Every choice you've made is showing up in that moment. Every choice you've made. And every choice you didn't make is also showing up. Because everything that you do is attending to something. I am choosing right now, Arena, to look forward. I am choosing to not attend to what's behind me. Is that unbelievable? Think about how narrow that choice is. The infinite world of everything else going on, I'm choosing not to attend to it. I'm choosing to attend to you right now, right here, with whatever state my nervous system is in. See, let me reset it. So the experiences, there are 3 seminal experiences that led me to the belief, right? You got to choose how you show up. You're accountable. You can do anything. We're always choosing. Those are some of the beliefs. When I was 6, I lost the ability to speak. This is why I'm a TEDx speaker. This is why I am a speaker, right? Everything we do is the result of everything that came before, right? So anyone can think about their life. Hey, why am I doing X, Y, Z? You know, it's because of something in your past or a group of somethings. So, the genetics were in the family. We moved. Little 6-year-old Marcy, new school, left my friends, left my home, left everything I knew. Mom and dad were busy. I didn't get the attention I needed. So my body really acted out and it shut my throat. As a result of that struggle, which my parents didn't sit down with me. Hey, what's it like? There was no outlet to process this, which for many of us, there isn't, right? So it went not fully processed for a very long time. And if I would raise my hand in class, there was this collective, everyone knew the teacher's going to have to call on me at some point. And the way I interpreted that is, oh my God, I just impacted all. They felt me. They felt my suffering. And it was very meaningful to know I'm impacting the world right now, but I really hated how I was impacting the world. And the stress and struggle led me to take my self lens, and I'm cupping my hands and looking toward them as if it's a mirror, my self lens, and it turned it outward. And it led me to say, I can't stand how I'm showing up, so I'm just going to become an observer. How is everyone else choosing to show up? And the ego really disappeared because it was too painful to be me. So what I saw was also deeply troubling, because you got the bully over there, you got the scaredy cat over there, you got the teachers not intervening as the same kid is in the A square during 4 square in the back of the schoolyard, slamming everybody out, ruling the roost. And, we still have this. It goes through high school in different ways. It goes through different workplaces where you got the bully and this, right? And everyone's playing a role. That led me to focus on how others are showing up. And then just very briefly at age 12 at a rehabilitation hospital where my parents sent me to learn to speak, which was not a helpful program. But what it showed me, as I was surrounded by elders, who had had strokes, they were learning to do basic things: pick up a fork, bring it to their mouth, sit and stand, take a single step. They had 2 experts often by their sides holding them as they took a step. And they had these papers, these plans that they would flip through and look, oh, here's what we do. And I said to myself, wow, elders with a lifetime of wisdom and experts by their side and well-made plans, they are struggling to show up as they choose. How could this be so hard? Where's the roadmap? Where's the blueprint? And that's when I said, this is my calling. This is what I'm going to do. I'm dedicating my life to researching how are we designed to show up to thrive. That's what's in the book. So I started this at age 12. I devoured every bit of, at the time it was psychology. Now it's called behavioral economics, it's called neuroscience, it's called evolutionary biology, whatever you want to call the field. I devoured things about human performance, why we are the way we are. And the synthesis of that and the model. We're in 3 roles at all times. I mean, we can get into the model later, but the model of how we're designed to show up just kind of fell out of that. And then my own research, which started in 1999, global studies, hundreds of thousands of data points. I still do the research. That's what's in the book too. So I hope I've answered your question about what the beliefs are and the seminal moment.
Thank you. And very, very profound at yet such a young age of 6-year-old when your body
Yeah.
shut down, and then again at 12 where you were observing other people, and you made that decision at that young age to dedicate your life to this.
Yeah, this is my calling. This is my calling. Absolutely. No question. I very much feel like I'm a vessel. I'm not really a human being here. I'm a vessel to share beliefs, information, insights about how we're designed to show up. We're all connected. We're all one, right? You take your spoon, you put it in the ocean, you take out a little spoonful of ocean. That's what we are. And everyone thinks we're separate. Well, sure, that spoonful of ocean is separate, but wait a minute. That spoonful of ocean is the entire ocean because it's been mixing forever and it evaporates and comes down. We are all part of a whole flowing process, and society uses language and acts as if we're not. And that's what leads to mental health issues and depression and anxiety and all the, health issues related to all of that. We're not separate, right? As many Nobel laureates and famous people have said, it's physicists, it's biologists, on and on and on, right? David Bohm, he says and he was a contemporary of Oppenheimer, of Einstein. All of the crises going on the planet right now stem from the belief that we are separate from the oneness of what is.
Totally same page as you are. In your view, what are the biggest misconceptions people have about showing up for their lives, and how do those beliefs hold single parents back?
Yeah, okay, number 1, we're separate. Really? If you're separate, why does the future of your children's life depend on the attachment that they have with you and you with them? We're not separate, so let's get rid of that. Another misconception is that you have to be perfect all the time. Forget it. No, you need to teach your kids that sometimes you're tired, and they can be tired. They have permission to be human. You teach your kid that you do your best, and sometimes your best isn't that good, and they get to have that permission too. You get to teach your kid that sometimes there's a struggle, like it's just hard, right? Some people are great in math, some people are great in science, some people are great in English, some people are just great at gym, and it's okay. And for some people, the traditional school, which is very antiquated and not how we're designed to really learn, it's really not a fit. And for some people, they can make it a fit, even though it's not. Learning actually happens in the motor cortex, like back there, like motor cortex, like the concept of 5. If you jump 5 times, you're going to understand 5 much more than let's write 5. It's like we make things an abstraction. We're designed to learn out in motion. Like out in the savannah, right? We were always in motion. So anyway, you teach your kid, look, it's okay. It's okay. Just keep trying. Live in a world where you're safe. Feel safe. Let creativity rule. Know that if someone's not nice, it's because of how they feel. It's not because of you. Others aren't judging you. And if they come across as mean, it's because they need love. What I would tell my kids when they would say, oh, so-and-so's so mean and this happened. And I said, wow, maybe her parents were really rushed and they came across angry at her before school. That's really sad. That's really sad. Maybe she needs a hug. And they look at me like I'm crazy. Like, I'm not going to say, hey, do you need a hug? Like, it's just the wrong thing. And I said, that's okay. You don't have to say it, but you know it. You know it. So one of the executives at a well-known hospitality company who I advise, she has a boss. I mean, the boss is, 55 years old. He's a very senior guy. And he shows up in scarcity. He shows up, he can't delegate. He needs to always micromanage things. He calls on weekends. I need this. stressed about it. It's a really bad way to manage. And one day when they were talking, he mentioned his father, and it turns out his father was never really there for him. And I said, that's it. That is it. He shows up and manages you in that way because that's somehow it's through the parenting that he got. It was not very good. So he's in scarcity and he's just passing it on. And I said, this doesn't mean it's lawful when he calls you on a Sunday and wants you to do work. But what it lets you do is say, hey, have I ever let you down? Okay, you will have this on Monday, or you can say, hey, I know you feel stressed about this, but you can just, it's okay. This is going to get done, right? Don't pass that on, please. Anyway, it just lets this senior person who I'm working with show up differently because she knows where it's coming from. Lets her come from a place of compassion. And then over time, ideally, you try to work for someone else, but it gives you at least space and time to say, okay, I'm on a runway of 6 months. I'm going to deal with this for 6 months and I'm going to change roles here, or I'm right.
You're right. I love how you mentioned that. There is a great book by Don Ruiz, The 4 Agreements, and how we come into this world. Like one of the agreements is don't take things personally.
Yeah.
And oftentimes when something doesn't go right, it's like immediately, that person doesn't like me, or they have an agenda against me. Meanwhile, it could be something going on in their life totally not related to you at all.
Well, it is every time. Irina, it is every time. How could it not be? Because how we show up to the world is based on everything that we've learned that has happened, to us, also with us and for us, because it's all lessons that we need to learn. So Don Louis, his book, The 4 Agreements, which I carry in my purse, The 4 Agreements. Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best and be immutable with your word.
Yes. Love his work. You're a visual artist. How does creativity play a role in how we process stress emotionally or reconnect with ourselves?
Yeah. So creativity it's a symptom of the answer. Like when you're relaxed, creativity means that there's an openness. It means you're in your right hemisphere. It's an expression of inner health, right? It only shows up when you're in a good place, a place of play. That being able to show up that way is a place of safety. Your energy is safe. People can be themselves. It attracts goodness, right? So kind of that's how it works. And which is why it's really crucial for people to have some aspects of their life that are play. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it's listening to music. Maybe it's, going out and doing a great workout. Maybe that feels like a creative, expressive thing. Whatever it may be, choosing wines and enjoying. There's a lot of things that are creative. And I'll tell you something that most people don't recognize. Choosing how we attend to the moment is a creative, and it literally creates what the moment is and how you show up. The reason it's creative is because you're making a choice. I'm doing this. I'm now feeling you and how you're holding your head. And I'm not, once again, looking around. I'm not splitting my attention, right? So this is a creative act and it's crucial. This is how most people don't choose. Why the book is called How We Choose to Show Up is because that's the active aspect. What are we choosing to attend to? That right there is using our flow, our ability to be right here, right now, or not. Yeah. So I hope I've answered your question.
Totally. Thank you. What would you say to a single parent listening who feels like they've lost themselves along the way and they're not sure how to come back to who they really are?
Set 10 minutes aside and journal. Absolutely. Just give yourself the space. And it might feel mechanistic at first, but do it tomorrow and do it the next day and do it the next day. And your 10 minutes is going to start to feel different and it'll flow into 15 and 20. And what you're going to find is that life flows more smoothly. Okay. Meditation does this as well, but journaling is extremely powerful. You're transducing an idea, an emotion from your mind through your body into your hand and you're writing. Ideally write. If you need to type. Ideally write. I type mine, just to be clear. So everyone has permission. And what I always write about is just, here's life right now. Here's what's going on. And what I often move into is, here's what I'm doing about it. and I hope this and I hope that, and here's what I'm doing about it. And ultimately, for me, it becomes a processing approach, and it becomes a system of planning. That is absolutely what I would say. And even if it starts out, I can't stand this, and that's your first sentence, fine, great. You can't stand it right now. Okay. If you do nothing else, at least you've admitted, you've accepted, you've permitted the truth. This is where you are right now. That's a great first step. You might say, well, what's the benefit of that? I know that. But you've taken a moment to be with it. And there's some processing in that. You aren't like every moment you're different than you were. Don't think it didn't matter, because it does. And it leads to what's next. There is no moment right now that didn't come after what just happened the moment before. So think about that. And everything is leading you somewhere else. So journal, write about what's going on, see what comes up. If you stay with it long enough, and long enough might be 3 minutes. Okay. Long enough doesn't have to be an hour. If you stay with it until something new comes up, something new will come up pretty quickly. This just happened. And you know what? It really wasn't the same thing as before. This person, maybe there really is, I noticed this, I noticed that. What if I do this? What if I do that? So a new idea is going to show up. That was a long answer, but that's what I recommend. And it's powerful.
Totally. I love it. I think journaling is so beneficial and it's easy. You don't need to call a therapist. You can just pop out a journal and write a few words and see where it takes you.
Right.
In the end of the day, our emotions are not bad. All they want to be is they want to be felt and let go. And by starting with journaling, it's kind of the first step we can get ourselves on the journey back to self. The small, tiny step. What is one non-negotiable in your life? Like for yourself, how do you maintain yourself, to have this spontaneity, to have this artistic ability and have the amazing life that you have? What is one non-negotiable in your life?
Sleep. Solid sleep. I'm not saying I get it, but I definitely reserve 8 hours a night. I try to set up effectively. Dark room, cool room, minimize caffeine, if any. Know that it's a safe, joyous place. Yeah, sleep is my thing.
Thank you. And one question I always ask my guests, what is the most important trait to instill in a child?
In a child, the most important trait, unconditional love. I don't know that that's a trait. That knowing their value and that they're unconditionally loved, which hopefully leads to you can do anything. You have a safe person in your life. So Dr. Mark Brackett, he's the head of the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. He's a friend of mine, and his most recent book talks about that one safe person. If you have one, what it shows is that you can have a lot of unsafe people who make you feel a certain way that you don't like, or they're maybe emotionally or physically unsafe in some other way. But if you have one person who you can talk to, a friend, a coach, a clergy person, a neighbor, that one person changes everything. So be their safe person to whatever extent you can. And then they're going to grow out of you if you're the parent and turn toward a peer. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure to have you. If people would like to follow your work, where would they go?
Get the book. Go to Amazon. I tried to make the ebook free, but I think Amazon put a minimal few dollars on it. I definitely recommend the soft cover because you want to write. When you read, you want to underline, you want to take notes, you want to write what it means to you. You want to refer back. This is not what I'm told. This is not a book to read once. I'm told by people, Marcy, I go back to your book all the time. So very cool. They can also go to my website, very antiquated, haven't looked at it in years. But there's a contact form. Yeah, I'm minimally on Instagram because I just don't enjoy doing social media, but I am there. I've got Marcy Axelrod Art, and I've also got choosetoshow.com. And at Choose to Show Up. There's a lot of old stuff, but anyway, that's all. I recommend the book.
Thank you. Is there anything I haven't asked that you would like to share?
I mean, no, but what I would reiterate, if people take one thing away, choose. Don't forget, you're always choosing how you show up. If you really don't know the depth of what it means, and I've just talked about a bunch of stuff and the hemispheres and it doesn't make sense, just know when you're calm, people feel an energy from you that's safe, that's open, that's receptive, and it opens up opportunities in life and quality relationships. So choose, and the main thing is just try to reset and be calm. That is what enables you to flow with the waves of life and be a good parent.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you for the work that you are doing in the world and in the importance of how we show up. Thank you so much.
Arena, thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
This episode is such a powerful reminder that parenting isn't about doing more. It is about being more present in the moments that matter. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be aware of how you are showing up. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with another parent who needs to hear this today. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps this message reach more families who need it.